Welcome back to Lone Star Roads, brought to you by the Credit Union of Texas. Recently, I took a trip out towards Grayford, Texas, and sat in with my buddy Casey Donahue out at Rocker Bee Ranch for a big event that's going on this weekend out there called Buckets and Boots. Let's check in with Casey D right now. Welcome back to Lone Star Roads. My name is Justin Frizzell. We are here today at the beautiful and gorgeous Rocker Bee Ranch out here in Grayford, Texas, not too terribly far from the banks of PK, Possum Kingdom. And sitting right here next to me is Mr. Casey Donahue. Hey, buddy.
Hey man, how are you?
I'm wonderful. I could get used to this place real fast.
I know, there's worse places to be, that's for sure.
I'm telling you, I mean, there's plenty to do out here, both inside and outside. I mean, this is the kind of piece of land that you need to get away on every now and again, and it looks like we're going to do that here before too long with the Buckets and Boots that's coming up this weekend.
Yes, sir.
And we'll talk about that more here in just a minute, but where we're at today is the setting for the third annual Buckets and Boots coming up with Casey Donahue Band playing that thing. But let's talk about this new record, Standoff. How's that treating you so far?
It's good, man. Came out April 16th. We're still working the first single, which was Whiskey Baby. We got the video out and spent, I think, 3 weeks at the top of the charts here in Texas, and it's been good. We're excited. People seem excited about the new music, and hopefully there's several more singles on the record.
Right. You took a pretty firm stance, and which I applaud you for, on the whole Second Amendment thing. And I know that you've done that for a while, but it just seems like here recently, with headlines and whatnot, that you've been a little bit more vocal about it. And again, I give you all the credit in the world for that. How have you been received with that? I would imagine it's probably been pretty positive, just with the demographic of the audience.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's a big part of the demographic that we appeal to. It's something we've been doing for years, but it's something that it seemed it really took a front page here in the last year or so in the country, and it just seemed like there was so much negativity and opposition to owning guns and having guns, and I wanted to be a voice, and the band, we wanted to be a part of the group that thought it was okay to be a gun owner and still stand up for the Second Amendment. And I'm sure some people take offense to us taking that stand, but I've always thought if you really believe in something, it can't be wrong to support it.
I know the majority of the songs on the record don't necessarily speak to that, but I know that the artwork and the title, Standoff for the CD, that's kind of the reason that you went with that title, is it not?
It was kind of a two-parter. The one part was the standoff, and I just felt like there was such a clash, going on in the country and with the gun debate, and part of it was kind of a statement. We just had our 10-year anniversary with the band, and I feel like our whole career has kind of been a standoff, just with the way we went about the Casey Donahue Band business in general and our business model. It was nothing that anyone else had done before. Me and my wife set out with a plan, and we did things our own way, and it was we were met with opposition, on almost every level, and we're able to overcome that.
Now that you're 10 years in, and you battle that opposition from, as the song Stockyards states, playing on those corners down there in the Stockyards of Fort Worth, Texas, here's your opportunity to look into that camera, or even on a week-to-week basis, of the next act that's sitting there starting their venture into this music business. What piece of advice can you give them for somebody that's starting up?
The thing that seems like it sticks out the most with me from the time we cut our first demo, a friend of mine that worked at a studio told us, he said, do everything you can yourself until you can't do it anymore. And that's kind of been the philosophy we've stuck with as long as we can, and still to this day. I think we're still an independent artist. We own our own record label. We do it ourselves, and I think it's important to really be mindful of if you're serious about wanting to make a career in music, it's the music business. And the business gets left out so often that people get confused and think it's it's a big party, and sure, it's great to play music for a living.
Sure, yeah. There's always a time to flip that switch and turn the party on, but like you just said, it's the entertainment business. There's the entertainment side and there's the business side.
And you've got to be mindful of your money, and you have to take care of the business, or you'll be out of the music.
Right. I mean, because you're 10 years in, and what you think the majority of your success has probably come in the last 2 to 3 maybe?
People ask me all the time, how long does it take before you can make any money? And I always tell them it was 5 years before we saw a profit.
Yeah.
A profit. There was 5 years of losing money. doing what we do.
And that's operating the business side correctly.
That's operating everything, you know, by the numbers. And, you know, it got to maybe like the end of the 7th year, it got to where me and my wife didn't have any other jobs. You know, we had other jobs until 7 years in the music business, and then it turned to a point where it was so busy that this is all we could do. And, you know, we've been real fortunate and real lucky, and, you know, hopefully we got a few more years left.
Well, let's talk about why we're here today at the Rockerbie Ranch here in Grayford, Texas. This ranch actually belongs to that fellow sitting next to you right there. That's Mr. Lance Bird. Hey, Lance, how are you, buddy?
How are we doing?
Thanks for having us out, man.
Thank y'all for coming.
You got a beautiful place, buddy.
Thank you.
This was just a big old patch of pasture out here towards West Texas not too long ago, wasn't it?
It was, and it's a pasture that almost got burned up a couple times back in 2011, and it even here recently, a year ago, with all the fires, the wildfires.
What is, I know you guys started the Buckets and Boots program 3 years ago. This will be our 3rd anniversary for the big concert and benefit. This year, obviously, all the volunteer fire departments that are around this area have benefited from it in years past, and will continue to do so this year. But this year, you've added our buddies down in West Texas as part of the beneficiaries. That was just an obvious choice for you guys, or do you have a direct relationship with those guys?
Well, in 2011, when the fires, you know, when that complex was out here, you know, over 1 million acres burned, 300 houses burned to the ground, and people came out of the woodwork to help this community out here and provide help, and firemen came from all over the state, and people provided food and just anything the firemen needed. And we kind of feel like, hey, you know, this is their turn down there. They had this terrible tragedy, and we'd like to help out and help them too, because we know what it's like. And so that's what we decided to do this year, to support them.
We're going to do that this Saturday, right here on this piece of property out here at Rockerbie Ranch in Grayford, Texas. It's bucketsandboots.com is the website, and you can find them directly there, or, you know, if you tend to peruse Facebook more often than not, you can search out Buckets and Boots and find the link there. Tickets are still available right now. You'll be able to walk up to the gate and purchase them. What's the ticket price?
$25. And in addition to having Casey Donahue, we're excited about him, obviously, but Turnpike Troubadours will be here, and Tracy Lawrence is our headliner, and then we just announced, we're announcing actually on your show tomorrow, that Pat Green will be joining us, along with Willie Robertson, the CEO of Duck Dynasty. One other thing I didn't mention a second ago, but we're giving a free ticket to every fireman in Texas that wants to come to this show.
Just show up with proof of ID?
Well, we're trying to do them in advance. There's a number they can call, or go to bucketsandboots.com.
Okay.
But we want to support them, and we want to put on a show that they enjoy as well. They're our heroes, and we just want to, we want to do things that they'll enjoy also, and we think that's having Willie Robertson is one of those things.
Come on out and join us this weekend out here at Rockerbie Ranch in Grayford, Texas. It's the 3rd annual Buckets and Boots, bucketsandboots.com. Casey Donahue Band, Tracy Lawrence, Turnpike Troubadours, and Pat Green. I'm sure you'll bump into Lance running around here all weekend long, too. Lance, thank you for the time today. Thanks for having us out.
Thank you guys for coming.
Casey, as always, great to see you. We'll see you again Saturday. All right, we'll come back on the other side. More Lone Star Roads when we come back. Thank you again to Casey Donahue and to Lance Bird, owner of Rockerbie Ranch. Look forward to being out there Saturday. Obviously a very worthy, good cause. When we come back, we're going to visit with my buddy Steve Helms and Jamie Richards right here on Lone Star Roads TV.